Fire.
Peace. What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm definitely bringing some peace on the line, man. I've been in the dark. I ain't talked to you today. I didn't know about none of this. Now, I did know Sal was doing a show, and when I seen who was on there and seen the title, I just cracked up laughing. And I started to call in. I said, no, it's G-Con show for the start, so I'm going to go and get on here. So you got to tell me, man, what did you hit him with? I see the Genesis 1 and 3. So what did you hit him with throughout the gate?
I asked him what was the source of the sun. What was the source of that light in Genesis 1 and 3? He said he didn't know, right? So then I said, okay, well, it says that he called day, evening, light. He called light day, and he called night evening, and he separated light from day, right? Light from night. The day and evening or whatever. I said he separated. I asked him, well, how did he separate that? He said, well, really, I don't really know this and that. I said, oh, okay. So then I say, okay, well, when you do, I said, okay, so with that being said, I said, let me ask you, I said, is the sun a global? I said, is it a globe or is the moon a globe or whatever? And he said, no, it's not. I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, why is it when you're looking at the moon, you can see a shadow? I said, and the shadow is a curvature, and it look like a spur or something globe. I said, why is it that you can see that, the shadow on the moon? And then also I said, the moon does not shine. It is a satellite. I said, the sun shines above the moon, right? So I said, why is it that you can see that? I said, because would you agree that creates day and night, right? And he said, yeah. I said, day and evening or whatever. He said, yeah. Okay, so cool. So then I say, so he said the sun is it's not a globe. It's a circular, a spherical light. I said, man, that's foolish, man. I said, so then he was like, so then he really couldn't really answer. He started getting mad to my word. Where do you see? He said, where do you see that it's a globe? I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, Psalms, Isaiah 40 and 20, right? I said, it says that God sit upon the circle of the earth or whatever. But when you look at it, it says he sitteth far upon the circle of the earth, right? When you look at ancient texts. I said, so when you look at it, I said, and also it says that he stretcheth forth the heavens as a tent to dwell therein, right? So he got to talk about a tent. He said a tent, it stands on something flat. I said, hold on, no. He's not using it in that aspect. He's using the aspect of how you stretch forth a tent, how a tent is spread out, right?
Yeah.
I said, so if he spread it out as a tabernacle, right? I said he spreads out, he expands it. I said, who dwells in this tent then? Who's dwelling in this? Because I said, then I went to Revelation chapter 12. I said, it said, rejoice ye that dwells in the heavens, and woe to them that are on the earth. I said, well, hold on. We got somebody in Isaiah 40 and 20 saying that the heavens is stretched out as a tent to be dwelt therein, and that's heavens in plural. Then we got in Revelation, it's saying that rejoice ye those who dwell in the heavens again. So what is he talking about? Who's dwelling in these heavens?
Right.
So he couldn't really answer that. So Sal was like, do we got to debate? Because it's heated in here. I was like, yeah, man, I'm not going to debate this dude. I said, I suggest y'all check out Walt Brown, man, Dr. Walt Brown, and check out his book, man, about the hydroplate theory, and leave it at that, man. I said, because I'm not the one I got too much going on. I'm not the one to be debating kind of stupid issues for reals, man. It's kind of stupid to me. I just wanted to put this brother to silence in here and go back and listen to how he was chopped up. Go back and listen to how he was chopped up. He was trying to be bugging outside of real stupid up in there, man, so it was definitely funny, though, man. And I see the bar up in here, man. I see you, the bar. I'm going to open up your mic in a minute, but you better, I'm telling you, bro. You're going to get this work through. But we ain't going to talk about that.
Man, we ain't finna do this, man. That's
we ain't going to do it tonight.
Please.
Yeah, but let me deal with this.
Now, the bar, he would be more of a, what you would call legit argument from that standpoint. Because, he'll make some more sense. Because that's brother you talking about, he never make no sense. He just put up memes and bogus pictures that somebody drew in their basement. Somebody see Hebrew drawing. I'm like, man, stop playing, man.
Yeah, his stuff is basically built on it's built on theories, man. His stuff is really built on theories, man. And like I say, if I really wanted to get off into the research of it, like I got a book right now, like Dr. Walt Brown's book. I haven't even really read all of it, but he made some predictions, right, about asteroids and different things, man. And those predictions have actually came true. You know, dealing with the scientific world or whatever. You know what I'm saying, about why the moon has all the craters on it. And they believed that the Earth at that time, they believed that the moon was at a time closer than what it was to the Earth, right? And they believed that when the crust of the oceanic crust on the oceanic mid-Atlantic oceanic ridges, when it broke open with pressure, and that's when we talk about the fountains of the deep, right? And we believe that crust is missing from that area. A lot of those fragments had hit had forced its way in outside of Earth's atmosphere and had hit the moon at that time when it was closer a little bit, because they know that the moon was actually closer to the Earth in the past, and even evolutionists say that too, just as well. So they believe a lot of that. The reason why it's like that side of the moon is like that due to the fact of that hitting the moon, but it's more craters on that side of the moon than on the other side. So man, it's just crazy.
Okay, so back to irrelevant. That's all good. So back to the relevant conversation at hand. I see your title, Clothes, Food, and Shelter. Could you tell the audience, why did you pick that? What made you pick that title? What was on your mind?
Basically, man, when you deal with the evolutionary theory, man, the survival of the fittest. I know I'm getting a bad feedback, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good. I'll mute my mic.
No, it ain't you. Don't mute your mic, because I got one bar, and you might have to speak if I go in and out.
Okay.
Now,
well, you need to open up their mics then in case you go out, because I can't open up their mic.
Okay.
Shalom, brother.
Hey, chat. Well, shalom, Mark. Shalom, brother.
Peace, brother.
Who this is?
Oh, this Madon Komet, brother.
Komet.
Oh, what's up, Ark? Yeah, I just accepted your friend request, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family, bro.
Oh, appreciate it. I like building with y'all brothers, man. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all brothers got good hearts, man, and y'all got y'all mind in the right direction. So, you know what I mean? I can vibe with y'all, man.
Yeah, even though G-Con on he on gangster mode right now, somebody really upset him. Hey, I just got an inbox too. Hey, I got an inbox.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good. I got an inbox.
All right, cool.
I got an inbox from a sister. She said, "Oh boy, LaRon sounds angry." I say, "Yeah." I say it must be justified though. So whatever it is, it got to be something. So and I just heard it. So talk to the Titans, man. I mean, I know they listening now. They gonna have something. I'm gonna say something, but you get it. Ain't too much I gotta say, but you already know how Kalam feel about you. When they did that Talk of the Titans show live with I think with Zion Lex, you see what he said. He waved you off and said, "Well, now let's talk about some people that's relevant." I'm like, wow. They just really try to, yeah. So they want to see somebody get down on you. That's why them posts ain't get removed. Exactly. That's why they got accepted. They want to see somebody get down on you because they tired of you've been splitting their head for months. So that's all it is.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and deal with this topic at hand right now. Why I picked this topic was because when you deal with natural selection, basically, and when you deal with the portion of when man's brain basically enlarged itself and it increased, and knowledge increased, man began to can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
That's why I hate
Memphis,
because I be getting that. Yeah, man began to basically make tools and different things and advance, and it gave them a advantage over basically the other species, basically, and also basically over other species besides themselves. And at that time, for instance, when we're dealing with food, clothing, and shelter, right? Everybody got to have these things. Everybody got to have them, right?
Right.
Yeah, hello. I guess he dropped out.
Hey,
dropped out.
Mikael, you might want to hold LeBron down until he comes back.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I knew he was gonna probably have some problems, but yeah, man, I'm kind of in the dark with all the the little things that transpired with him today, and talk of the Titans or whatever. But on that subject, food, clothes, and shelter. I don't know really where he gonna go with this, but I do know that is, of course, that's a necessity, and it's a necessity that we know is even spoken of in the scriptures quite highly. You know, Christ tell you that whatever you do to the least of them, you do it to me. You know, I can't think of that's a Mark. But he say, when I was naked, did you clothe me? When I was hungry, did you feed me? You know what I'm saying? When I was sick, did you visit me? And that concept alone is something that we supposed to do naturally. We're not even supposed to. Y'all know, bro. That's something we ain't even supposed to try to get no brownie points for. You supposed to.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, bro.
Yeah, I got this bad connection, man. But so we see that automatically, man. That when you're dealing with natural selection, we see that one must advance. Or he has certain things that causes him, according to nature, to cause him to basically survive. And even if it's dealing with technology or whatever the case may be. So he has to survive, right? But we know that he has something that he has to have to sustain his life. And that's food, clothing, and shelter, right? This is what sustains man, so to speak, right? So I brought this title out because it's so much more than that. But if you're dealing with the evolutionary theory, then you have to basically everything is material. It's the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Everything is material to you. And that's why everything has to be explained. And if it cannot be explained, then or materialized, then it's a no-go. It's not science or whatever the case may be, so to speak, because it's a way of justifying our actions of trying to survive, cutthroat, and also survival of the fittest. When we deal with the origin of species, right? Darwin's book, or the preservations of favorite races in the struggle of life. I might have got it twisted up, but that's basically what the title consists of. Favorite races, preservation, right? One must preserve his race in the struggle of life. And, this is what you call food, clothing, and shelter, material. That's why when you read the book, right, when you read the Bible, it says, if you notice, it says that man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out the mouth of God. Because the life that we're talking about in life more abundantly, basically, is something that exists outside of the material world. That's what he's talking about, eternal life, right? And energy is something that exists outside of the material world, as we talked about, or the formed or arranged world, right? Because energy is the one that forms, or energy is your makeup, right? Energy is the one that makes you up, basically, right? It's the conscience of you. The energy is attached to that conscience of you, of who you are, basically. So this title is basically showing us that when we think that life is only food, clothing, and shelter, and we cause it to control our behaviors, then that's a problem there then. See, this is why the government is able to control the behaviors of people. Why? Because they control your food, they control your shelter, and they also control your clothing, basically. They control everything about you, basically. They control education, control science, they control social matters, social media, agriculture, because we just got through talking about they control your food supply. And this didn't just start with the Greeks or Europeans. This started in the time during Norma, or in the ancient times when you had food gatherers or hunters. Let's deal with it. Let's think about it. Let's think about
I agree,
it.
brother.
I don't understand.
I agree.
Exactly.
Because when you said that,
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was gonna say when you said that, man, you took me back to it reminded me of an interview I seen with Tupac when he was talking with the guy when he was like, you got us stacked up 80 deep in one building, and we living next door to the killers. Of course, you know what I'm saying? You create that behavior and that, you know what I'm saying, that survival of the fittest, all that's going to take, you know what I'm saying, it's going to play a part in their behavior, the conditions, and just their survival. So to me, it's kind of like you said, it's like it's been going on, and it's like, to me, it's like, is it a design test? They doing this, but we know it's a test, but you know what I'm saying? But you can see it for what it is at the same time. Like, it's like this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. And see, the thing about it is when we look at it, right, for instance, let's use this as an example. For instance, right, okay, you got to eat, I got to eat, right? Now, me and you, we don't understand each other, right? We've been isolated. I've been in this area, you've been in this area, so we come in contact with each other. We need the same source, food, clothing, and shelter. And just think about this, right? So I don't understand you. You don't understand me. We've been isolated from each other. You got your group, I got my group. Can y'all hear me?
yeah.
You got your group, I got my group. So then we come in contact with each other. We're looking at the same food source. We're looking at the same area for the same shelter. And we know already the food source is also our clothing just as well, because we're going to cut those skins off, and we're going to wear that because we're going to get the strength of those animals, right? Because back then, whatever you killed, you got the strength of it, whether it was the bull's tail, the horns, or leopard coats, or whatever the case may be, right? Because we know already that the bigger, hairy animal that you can get was the coat that you had for the wintertime, right? So we see this. So we all looking at this material, this clothing, and this shelter, right? And so it controls our behaviors because we got to sustain the flesh. That's what we talk about when we talk about the lust of the flesh, right? We got to sustain the flesh, right? So then we see it, right? We both locked in. We need this to take back to the camp because we got to eat, and we stressed out because we ain't eating, right? So guess what's going to happen? We're going to come in contact with each other, right, for this area. We might war 2 or 3 times, right? So then I can't beat you. You can't beat me, so we must advance in technology, right? We got to advance in technology. I got to get my weapons together. You got to get your weapons together, and the one who has the best weapons is going to win that area, right? Either I'm going to kill you off and survive because it's survival of the fittest out here. And guess what? It's about food, clothing, and shelter. So now my behaviors is being controlled by the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and also the lust of the eyes. This is what's taking place. This is the whole scenario. Just picture this, right? You can't understand me. So the only way we can understand each other is basically, okay, if we write on the ground, right? This is what you call proto-writings, right? You right on the ground, right? And so, because you are inferior to me. Because I'm looking at you, I can't understand you. You could be saying something that I don't understand, right? And when I don't understand you, I can think that you plotting on me to get what I'm trying to get, which is food, clothing, and shelter. My family got to eat. This is the whole scenario. This is what we're dealing with, right? So when we look at this thing and we're looking at it that we have been taught that it is survival of the fittest, right? And this is the evolutionary process. So we must evolve in technology. We must evolve in consciousness, or we're going to die out. Because those that are civilized, according to Darwin's book, has to basically either civilize those that are uncivilized or kill them off. Because they have to preserve the favorite races, right? This is what we're dealing with. And see, they justify it due to the fact of the origin of life the origin of species by way of natural selection. So they saying basically that nature chose them, right, to be the top people. So they feel that as we look at the whole plot, and the other day we listened to basically what was taking place on the YouTube video when I audio played it through, is telling you that whole time that if I didn't have these certain mechanisms to survive, I wouldn't be here, right? That if I didn't have these eyes, or I didn't have this brain, or if I didn't make this stone, from when we see that these ape-like creatures start to walk upright, and then they started to pick up stones and see that they can kill. See, the first thing it showed us when you go back and you look at the video right on YouTube, it showed us a ape-like creature, right? And the ape-like creature seen something on the ground that he felt that he could eat, but he was scared, or she was scared to kill it. So guess what? They picked up a stone and they hit it and tried to crush it, but missed it. And the stone basically cut their hand. So they looked at it and said, oh, if it cut my hand and it hurt, basically I can use this as a weapon against people that I am inferior of. So when you come in contact with something, you are inferior of that if you can't communicate with it or you don't understand its language. So therefore, when you come in contact with somebody that you can communicate with, whether or not it's the other color or the same color, then you can build with them because they understand you. But if you come in contact with somebody who you cannot communicate with, you don't know what they saying. All you know is registered in your mind that you need what you need, and you have to get that. And that's food, clothing, and shelter, right? So that's what we've been taught. But we only got that mentality because guess what? Let's take it back to the Bible. The Bible says when they partook of that tree, the Hebrew word of the knowledge of good and evil, the word there is ra. What does that word mean? That word ra means, guess what? Calamity, misery.
I didn't know that.
Yes, go look up the word ra. Matter of fact, let's look it up.
That's real. That's real talk.
Exactly. So when Adam basically took on these things, he invited these things within his physical realm. That's why it says the earth was cursed and will not yield forth its strength. So if the earth ain't yielding forth its full strength, you got to eat, right? So what you going to do? You're going to keep traveling until you find ground. Can y'all hear me? Because I got a bad signal. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, bro.
I hear you. I hear you.
All right, let's go to Rod. Let's then. Let's look up this word real quick. Look up this word real quick. Genesis 2 and 9. It says of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Let's look up that word evil there. That word is ra, right? H7451. Bad, evil, disagreeable, unpleasant, evil.
Did his phone go out? Hello?
Yeah, his mic went out again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in the meantime, yeah, we got a lot of viewers. We got a decent amount of listeners right now on the line. I'm looking just from a few inboxes that I've gotten, people listening. So make this a real culture show. And to everybody, of course, I hope you be tuned in. I'm going to do my little commercial breaks when we fall out. Hope you tune in tomorrow. Debate Talk with you, 7 o'clock Central Time. I will be doing a show on the breakdown of the Song of Solomon and the Vineyard. There's been a lot of misconceptions about that. I even thought that I had the same general consensus everybody had on it, too, a long time ago, though, many moons ago. And I was just surprised to see how many of my own, even Hebrew Israelites, didn't have an understanding of what it was talking about. And so I think y'all going to really enjoy that show. I ask that y'all call in and support me. Even if you disagree with it, I take constructive criticism or whatever. So, yeah, tune in to Debate Talk for you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on the Saturday. What's up, bro? Is this something you want to touch on that he was talking about while he at break?
Well, yeah, I agree with the brother. You know, I agree that it's survival of the fittest, man, because you can kind of see, like, the shows they're coming out with, too, man, how they taking it back to the woods. Like, they saying that we might just have things just might just go there, you know what I'm saying? So I think they prepping the minds of certain people that watch them shows, man, or just, you know, like suggesting those thoughts or whatever. But, you know, the scripture.
Yeah, and the thing about it is it's a real, rather they're fear mongering or however you want to put it, it is real in the people's minds, especially if you look at the Gentile on TV, where, you know, some people call them different, but talking about the white folks. If you look at them on TV, they have shows specifically about them building their underground bunkers and stuff. Y'all seen it?
Yeah,
they waiting on the apocalypse. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
It's called Preppers.
Yeah. Okay. Prepper. Yeah, Doomsday Prepper. Right. That's
right.
What it's called.
Yep.
And
they got survivalists.
Go ahead, my son.
Yeah, I keep cutting out. What was the last thing y'all heard me say? Go ahead.
Real quick. No, I was just saying they got the preppers, and then they also got a bunch of those survivalist ones showing you what to do in a emergency and stuff. But go ahead, Mikael, Laurent.
And not to mention, you got to wait now, Laurent, because you got us into a good conversation based off your conversation.
So what's that?
But
go ahead.
We was just saying, based off where you led it to, that there's people, whether they're fear-mongering or not, there's people that truly are reverting back to their animal instinct. I was talking about, like, the show Doomsday Preppers, where these cats, man, these Gentiles building big forts underground. They stacking up food, and then he was about 7 brought up the survivalists, and then you also got the militia. You know, every state has a militia under the constitutional right, and they not just formed to, commit a coup and go against the unjust government. They actually have things set up for when that day kick off, that they're going to be able to take care of each other and all types of stuff. So, yeah, people are reverting back to what they would say is like an animal-like instinct. And I just want to say this before you start back. Like I was saying earlier, when you look at the words of Christ, right, the Mashiach, Jesus said that basically whatever you do to somebody who is your neighbor, that's supposed to be your brother, it say when I was sick, did you visit me? When I was naked, did you clothe me? When I was hungry, did you feed me? For the least that you did to them, you did it to me. I'm paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? And so we do it for a different reason. We're not doing it because we're going off animal instinct. We're actually doing it for the total opposite reason, because we're representing our spiritual side, not our carnal side. That if I was in that position, I would want somebody to help me. I don't care how many books you read, how many things you done Wikipedia that looked up on, you done became a Googleologist, and now you think with all this secondhand knowledge that you have, you won't even go out there and help your brother when you know you got more money on you. You know what I'm saying? If you got $10 and you know you can get that right back, and this man's sitting here hungry, why don't you go and split, give him that 5, keep the other 5? But see, they don't have the same moral compass that we do, that the Most High is going to increase the righteous. They thinking like animals. Oh, survival with the fit. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, Ron. Just want to interject there.
Like the last thing I think I said was, if y'all heard me, I broke down the word Ra. That was the last thing y'all heard.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So okay. When we deal with Ra, right, and you look it up, we see that the brother took in his paradigm of basically invited in his world and the physicality of his world, Ra, and that word is unhappy, worse than, dealing with bad of its kind, land, water, etc., unpleasant, evil, malignant, disagreeable, misery, unhappiness. So we see injury, distress, calamity, adversity, wrong, misery, distress. Once again, we see heavy hurt, mischief, noisome, sorrow, plagues, wretchedness. So this is what this brother invited in his paradigm. So just think, distress, right? He's distressed. The ground is cursed. It's not yielding forth its full strength. So he has to move to a spot where he can get the ground to yield forth its strength. So if you cut yourself away from the source, we talked about the second law of thermodynamics last week, right? The energy, the indefinite energy that caused your very existence to be energized, right? And that energized causes stableness and not unstableness, which we see there is unstableness due to the fact of radioactivity that are breaking down particles that are unstable, basically. So that's why we call it radioactive. And we see that everything about us is radioactive, it's unstable. And we take on radioactive particles, and we absorb radioactive particles just as well as the animals and also the plants. And so we break down, we degenerate, and we decay according to the second law of thermodynamics, right? So we look at this in the scriptures. When you when you break yourself away from the source, immediately nothing yields forth its full strength. Why? Because you're disconnected from the source. That's why. So we look at this brother invites into the paradigm death, as the scripture says. The whole creation is groaning or moaning for the coming of the sons of God in order for the manifestations of the people to get their mind right so their land can be healed. And we see this, right? Whether this pronounced Ra or Ray, it's still the same thing. You know, y'all know what I'm trying to say for the most part. But so all right. So we see that when we look up evil right there, what is it dealing with? What it's dealing with? We see that, right? So number one, we got to understand that we because we invited this into our paradigm, we see the second time that the earth is the cursed when somebody's yielding forth their strength because they're not connected with the earth and they're not one with the earth and they're not all in all with the earth. Therefore, when they yield forth their strength, when they put forth their hand, the earth won't hearken unto them because we can't communicate and we don't understand what the earth is telling us, and we're not yielding unto what the earth is telling us because we're cut off from the earth, and we're also cut off from the source of the earth, which is the Creator. So everything is basically being cut off due to the fact of man, because if he himself if the earth is subject unto him, and also the animals, and he is the ruler, and if the head is off, then the body is off just as well. So this is what's taking place. So when we look at the whole thing, we look at Cain coming to the picture. He's also cursed. He's a vagabond. So we look at people being hunter-gatherers and being nomads. Why? Because the environment. And the environment is causing stress on the body. And if there's stress on the body, then there's sickness in the body because the mentality plays role with the spirituality and also the physicality. That's what's happening. If there's if you have, that's why when you go to the hospital, if they tell you, the first thing they ask you, they want to know what's your stress level, or if it's genetically something that's passed down. And when you're dealing with stress, whatever affects you mentally and also spiritually, cause of effect you physically. So in the garden, Adam was affected spiritually, and then he was affected mentally and also as a result physically, and he decayed and the body died out. So that's why the curse must be lifted up off of man. Because if one thing is not in balance, then it causes an occurrence. Like you flick down a domino. It's like a domino effect. You flick the dominoes down, and when you flick them down, it causes an effect. And then you get the ripple effect. That's what's going on now, y'all. And it's a cycle. And it's steady going on because the cycle is the process due to the fact of we also bringing in bringing these things in amongst our children. So it's like our children are coming, and we reaping. I mean, we're basically multiplying, but at the same time, as we multiply, what's happening? Our children are also picking up those genetic rifts or genetic traits. They're picking up those mutations just as well, and gathering more mutations due to the fact of the environment is steady dying down according to the second law of thermodynamics, because there's not an indefinite energy supply. So if it's not an supply, then guess what? You can only run off a generator for so long, and eventually you're going to run out the gas to put in the generator. So this is what's taking place. This is what we. But go ahead, brothers. Y'all can build on that.
I can dig that, brother. Put me in the mind what Dr. Amos Wilson said. You know, like he said, once you commit something like those type of behaviors, it's going to be revisited 7 generations. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I what you're saying about all that, and like you said, with our kids, it's going to be visited over on them, and it's just going to get worse and worse if we don't correct the problem or try to find some way to connect it as a whole.
Exactly. Y'all can go ahead, man. Go ahead, because I'm going to send this link out to these groups because I never got to do that tonight. So I know that people can listen in. So go ahead, man. Then I'm going to come back in. But let me get this because we got actually 43 more minutes on air. So we want to at least get we got enough people in here now, but we want to at least let people know that we on. So I got to get this information out in these other groups that I didn't get a chance to do.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it though, I think in the end of the day, it's two real simple opposing. Well, no, I can't say that. I take that back before I say that, because there's some things that people pass off as, you know, as true scientific information or whatever. And it's really got an agenda behind it. It's a bunch of crap. And, you know, like when we was talking, because I'm listening to what he's saying, but my mind kind of just keep going back to that whole thing. Like, if you notice, a lot of the people that's even, you know, pushing this, that we came from whatever common ancestor or whatever that they claim it is. You know, they the main ones, if you really look at it, is pushing materialism, like pushing it to a real high standard, like they pushing materialism. we all like the finer things in life. I mean, you'd be naive not to say that, but they pushing it as if it's really top on their agenda. Like I've never seen any Hebrew Israelites, and being that I come from a very large Hebrew Israelite community, we have Israelites that's doctors, lawyers, entertainers. You know, it ain't no secret. We got quite a few entertainers that people know, athletes and everything, that go to the camp that I go to. And I just don't see that in them. Like, of course, they got more money, so, you know, the house going to be better, the car's going to be better. They do have that. I'm not going to blow smoke at you. But when you sit there and you watch what they do and when you talk to them, they give. They give a whole lot, and they give to the needy. They're not giving to a pastor. They give to the community. You know, when we throw something and, you know, we anteing up money to try to do like we always do a clothing and food. You know, we do food and clothing giveaway. We got one coming up in July, and we feed the entire neighborhood, like literally. And we give out clothes, top of the line clothes too, not like stuff that you wouldn't even wear. And these is when these people show their best. They come and they really, you know, they bestow the blessings upon people that the Most High made it able for them to receive. And that's what it's supposed to be about. So I don't see, and I might sound biased, but it's because this book that they dog out so much is our Constitution. You know, it's no secret whether you Tanakh only based or Old Testament only based, or whether you are New Testament, which really ain't no such thing. But if you a whole Bible believer, meaning you follow the New Testament also, we all have one thing in common, and that's the Torah is our Constitution. The first 5 books of Moshe or Moses, it's our Constitution. So within that, we have certain moral standards to try to hold ourselves to, even if they almost seem impossible to reach. We try to do that. And that's what separates us from these cats. Now, I'm not saying it's not brothers with other ideologies who don't really believe in the Bible, who are just not genuinely good people. There are. I know some. There are. Like, they give you their shirt off their back. And the scriptures talk about them. It's they basically, you know, they don't know I'm paraphrasing, but in the New Testament it talks about even the Gentiles that was not given the law, but they did the things that pertain to the law naturally, meaning that it was some Gentiles that were naturally following things that was written in the law, although they didn't know the law. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like what people like to say, I don't need no book to tell me how to do that. Sometimes that is the case, but for the most part, if that was true, the black community will not be the most violent community in America. The black community will not be the most ratchet community in America. Of course, we know it's outside forces that have a system set up to, for our destruction. But that can only be possible if we did not have laws, statutes, and ordinance to keep us in check. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I agree with you.
So I want you to expound on your thoughts on that, bro.
I agree with you 100%, my brother, because if you even look at, like they try to throw out the Bible, but I say, wait a minute, because if you look, they talk about Black Wall Street, but if we look at those people that started Wall Street, what was they spiritual foundation? It was the scriptures. It was the Bible. So, like, it's like, come on, man, you can't just throw out the Bible because you feel some type of way because of the way it's been taught. If you just go look at the book for what, to me, if you just look at the book for what it is and use common sense, you can make it far as you want to make it. You know what I'm saying? Without transgressing or anything. But I think a lot of people just they've been so hurt by pastors and all these other people that, you know, they go into it and pull out what they want, and then they don't want to go into this part because they say, well, you know, that's done away with, or that, whatever the case may be. But to me, I think people have been so hurt by it, but you got a lot of people who still go by it. Like, I'm in the South. People go, you talk about the Bible, that's a fight. You know what I'm saying? Damn it. Because people, they still use it to raise their kids. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, to me, like the brother was saying, the source. Like, if you don't teach a child something, it'll just go into the refrigerator, it'll take stuff out your mouth, and try to eat it until you get that source of discipline. So to me, I think the Bible is our book. To me, it's the only thing that give us a past, a present, and a future of earthly events and worldly things. And if you just use common sense and just stop going in it with hatred, you can get the most out of it and just use it to your advantage. Because I think it's the illest book ever to me. Because ain't no other book that gave us a clear creation story. Ain't no other book gave you insight on different land areas and who was in that land area, what they was doing right, what they was doing wrong, and what happened. Because like when you read about the book of Maccabees, to me I love Maccabees because we go into a lot of in-depth on like the war that was going on and all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it gives you an insight. And if you use your imagination, you know what I'm saying, you can see how they make their movie. A lot of their movies is based off the scriptures, but they just, they go about it in a roundabout way. But I agree with you 100%, brother. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And see, the thing about it is when we talk about like you heard Brother Unk say the spirituality is food, clothing, and shelter, right? Now, what he's not telling you is that he's actually justifying what the Europeans is doing. That's what he's doing. The evolutionary theory, and we're going to talk about this Monday because, tomorrow night we off air until Monday. We're going to talk about racism springing basically from the evolutionary theory. We're going to talk about that because when we start looking at individually different races of people, we start seeing that food, clothing, and shelter in the eyes, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, the lust of the flesh plays a great role when you're dealing with that. So when we look at it, right, what he's not telling you is it justifies what the Caucasians are doing now. Because what he's saying is it's either us or them. And what the Chinese are saying is either us or them. And we're going to have to depopulate whether we like it or not because we need to preserve some things. And these uncivilized people basically are taking up all the food. So let's genetically modify their food, right? And we genetically modify their food. They're going to die off because their food is genetically modified anyways, and we preserve the best for us. We're making all the money. We can afford the best, right? We can afford our government agriculture, our private culture that we're dealing with, and let's let them, the lowest of us, they killing each other anyway, and for the most part, they can't attack us because we're higher than them. We have advanced technology than them. So, therefore, we have the right, the civil ones, to rule the earth. That's what they thinking. And mind you not, let's not just get focused on the Caucasians. Let's take it all the way back to Norman's Palette. Now, we ain't going to play no games. I heard these brothers out here saying that Africa was always peaceful. You are a liar. And if you study the evolutionary theory, then you got to be even more lying because you know and I know that in order for us to survive, you got to advance. Because one part of time, we had hunters and gatherers. Couldn't find any food. Trust and believe, they was fighting. They was fighting over that food. We're going to stop playing games. Now they try to fight over food in a more civilized way. Seems to be civilized, but it's not civilized. Behind closed doors, it's always cutthroat, right? So we're going to stop lying and stop lying to these people. So when you look at it, let's look at Norman's Palette. It says that he civilized, or basically he joined Upper and Lower Egypt together. that in order for you to join Upper and Lower Egypt together, there has to be war. Even if it's not amongst your peoples, it's still in the same, the gnomes dealing with, when you're dealing with the land and the kingdom, to civilize it, and you have to cause civil war. It's just like when they came to America, you had your colonies, you had your north and your south, and in order for them to come to agreements, there had to be civil war, right? So we see the civil war, what takes place is death behind that. So when death takes, what takes place behind that is death due to the fact of the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, and also the lust of the flesh, right? So when we look at the whole thing of the normal pilot, in order for him to civilize these people, or to cause a joint civilization, there had to be a couple of murders, a couple of deaths, probably a lot. Because number one is you coming into people's areas and you say that you're God and that you're king because you're strong by might, and you have those that's with you that's strong in might just as well. Might is right. That's what they say. It's survival of the fittest. If I got the people to take what's yours, then I'm going to go take it because I'm stronger than you. And I'm king, so to speak. This is what we're dealing with, right? Who said that you was royalty? Ain't no telling, right? But we know that even their children couldn't mate with those that was outside of royalty. They had to be of a royal lineage, the layman, at some type of way. Did you have some kings that cared for their people? Yes. But for the most part, it was always built on bloodshed. Always. Because you had to go in and take somebody's land to set up your stuff. Even when you're dealing with Israel. No different. But one thing we see that with Israel was supposed to go in there and rule righteousness and rule with righteousness. And we see that when they didn't rule with righteousness, what took place and what happened. Because you got to have somebody that rule in righteousness to cause peace in the earth. And we see now are about the money, and they're not about peace. They're about the pride of life. So when we talk about in the ancient times, we went way back on Yah. Just think about it. I don't know what you're saying. You don't know what I'm saying. But I need what you got, and you need what I got. Ain't no peace there. So what we do, we write on the dirt. Proto-writing. We got to understand each other. If we don't understand each other, we're going to have to build some type of language. We're going to have to set up some type of numerology system and set up some type of alphabet so we can have a lingua franca, so we can understand each other and build trading routes and trade with each other. Because my area may got what you need, and in your area, it may got what I need. Now, when you talk about trading pearls and rubies, that's the pride of life, the flesh, and the lust of the eyes. All because you want to kill somebody over the bling-bling, right? You want to stand in line for hours and kill over the Jordans. Or you want to kill over an island or over a G5 plane or over some oil. Come on, man, let's get on some international things, because we can get on the community things just as well as the international things. Let's stop playing games, and we can take this all the way back, because we're going to stop trying to say that this didn't happen until the Europeans came in, when we know damn well it has been going on. And it's only going to get worse because as time gets short and as things are not, as the resources run up, everybody going to start getting wicked out here. And we hear music in the entertainment field to blind us to the poor made, to blind the people to the basically what's going on out here. The music dealing with homosexuality, the video games. All it is to take our mindset off of the second law of thermodynamics. This earth doesn't have an infinite support of energy, so therefore it's dying, and we don't even see it. And we picking up more mutations and more sicknesses and more upon this body, because as the earth begins to be exposed to more ultra rays or light, then we see that it's causing us to break down more faster than what we was breaking down previous. Because now we've been exposed to more of this light. I don't want to hear we the people of the sun. Because without that ozone layer, that sun will tear you to pieces. The sun is your friend due to the fact of the other elements that work in place with it and the atmosphere. Without that atmosphere, the sun don't know not to burn you up. It's only going to do what it's caused to do, to blaze that fire. Because what is not conscious and aware of what's outside of it. It's only governed by its own laws. So therefore, it can't say, well, the atmosphere ain't working, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to cool down a little bit and heat down. Nah, it's going to keep on burning, and it's going to burn you right up. Even evolutionists will tell you that one part of time, 95% of the earth of population was lost. But they won't tell you that was during Noah's time. They try to skip over that. Try to skip over that. Yeah, so I mean, the games have to be, we have to stop these games. So then when we dealing with these brothers that's out here lying, when we know already that what the books say, when we talk about the pride of life, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eye, certain things you just don't need. Certain things you just don't need. Why is it that only 3% of the earth can be populated? Why is that? Because this earth is dying. Why don't we use and take the resources that we got or the science that we got to help better? Nah, because we want gain. We want pleasure. We want the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, and the lust of the flesh. This is what's going on. Go ahead, though, brothers.
Yeah,
you hit it on the head, brother.
Yeah, you basically hit that on the head. And, I just like to quote something the master teacher said, man. That really, and it connects even with the Torah. For brothers who don't even deal with the New Testament, but it's just a beautiful thing that we to do these things for a whole nother reason. Ain't no pride and lust of the eyes when you know somebody is in need and you need to help them, and then you have the resources to do it. It's kind of hard to do that in a capitalist society, but if you read what the master teacher said, man, Christ in Matthew chapter 25, verse 31, he say, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, it say, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. And here's where it gets really like cut home. It say, for I was a hunger, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, When saw we then and hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? So, they like, man, well, when we didn't do that for you? Because, you wasn't around. You had already died, resurrected, or whatever. So what are you talking about? We always know people. It say, when saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, and naked and clothed thee, or when saw thee sick or in prison and came unto thee. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me. So we know that, you know what I'm saying, the world jacked up right now. Like you said, it's survival and fit, man. It tell you another scripture, that the heart of the earth or the world is wax cold. And you see people out here, they struggling, and even when you think you struggling, what we fail to realize is always somebody that's worse off than you are. And we've kind of lost that. We've really lost focus of that. What I will say, during the Jim Crow days or post-slavery days, man, they had a lot less as far as, if you look at some of the wealth and stuff that the quote-unquote, I'll say the Israelites accumulated nowadays. But the difference was all they had was each other. And they took care of each other because they was all they had. And, it's like now we've lost totally focus of that. And the sad part is a lot of this selfish teaching is coming from people in our own community. We already know how the Gentiles got the system set up. This their kingdom. That's how they going to do things. You know what I mean? They ain't going to rule it righteously like when we possess the kingdom, the real kingdom. You know what I'm saying? We going to rule righteous like God. But this kingdom is being ran by Satan, man. And when you look, the sad part is the brothers that's supposed to be our teachers and the enlightened ones now, the quote-unquote unconscious community, a lot of these brothers and a lot of these religious teachers too, they have lost total connection with what Christ just explained on how you do this and what reason you doing it. You see what I'm saying? Because people can give you some food, shelter, and all that, and have an agenda behind it. They got it just to give it. They going to make it look good. But their heart is really far from that. They probably just doing it to get some tax write-off. You know what I'm saying? They really don't give a damn what happened to you after they do that. Which, hey, the person that's getting it really don't care about that. But the fact is, that's why they doing it. So, yeah, that's just kind of what I want to bring. And I think that homeboy, man, the Mashiach, he just seemed to just cut through a lot of stuff, man, because these are things that we still going to go through, man, like even to this day. But y'all go ahead.
Well. Yeah, so we got we're gonna open up some mics here. We got 18 minutes on the show. If you want to hear the rest of the portion of the show, you're gonna have to call in when those 18 minutes is over with. Call in before those 18 minutes to hear the rest of the portion of the show. The number is 917-889-2233. 917-889-2233. Talking about food, clothing, and shelter, and how it's used to control our behaviors. We see that the processes of food and clothing and shelter, how one is caused to have their behaviors controlled. Matter of fact, before we do that real quick, let me open up something because I forgot about something. Let me jump to this real quick and get this in the text real quick, because last night we talked about something very vital and very important. We talked about the Mystery Babylon, and we talked about the beast system, basically. Let me jump to Revelations chapter 13. It says, Let's see, where we at. see who he had. It says that, this is Revelations 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And it says, and he caused of all but small and great, rich and poor, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark. Notice it says no man might buy or sell save he had the mark. So understand this. Your very food will be controlled, predicated upon you worshiping this beast system, basically. This system, right? Your very food will be controlled, right? Of the beast or the number of his name. So this is a literal mark, but it starts from a mental or spiritual state that leads to people getting the actual literal mark to buy, sell, or trade that they may eat. Because remember, evolution is the process that they're using to bring the system of this beast system. Because the system, as we see, causes one, in order to be able to eat, buy, sell, or trade, that he may take on this evolutionary process, right? And this is, so to speak, the order that they will give and unite whoever will be with them and categorize people and put people in categories, right? So we see that much blood is going to be shed through this process. So when you look at the evolutionary process and we look at it, the control of the grid, those on the grid, is real. Everything must be registered. Every gun must be registered. Every piece of equipment must be registered, so they can know how you use that equipment and also where that equipment at that you're using. Why? Because they know you could take that very same technology and cause it to be used against them if you knew what you was doing. Y'all didn't know that, did you?
Well, I will say that it's a very powerful point that you bringing up, because if one controls food, water, and shelter, that is your most basic necessity. People would do damn near anything to hide those three things. So that's real key, though. Go ahead.
And they definitely going to take that mark. And another thing too is that it's going to be something. A lot of people is going to be they so entertained by what's going on. It's not going to be. It's coming to the process. See, the evolutionary theory don't want God. So because they don't want God, they don't want a creator, and they don't want instruction, they're going to go right into it full-fledged because they feel, and they're being deceived, that it's something that can make them, through science and technology, cause them to be able to live forever by their own deeds and merits. That's what they're looking at, by their own deeds and merits, and they can gain immortality through their own knowledge without the existence of God in their life. In other words, we don't need the tree of life at all. We got this immortality on our own. We can cause consciousness, and they try to take the consciousness of man and be able to transfer it over into machines, so they can cause the consciousness to live forever, because the consciousness is actually governs your body. That's what people don't know. That's why when you got young Pharaoh going around saying that you are not your body, that basically he's talking about the thought is what controls your body. That's what he's talking about. He's saying that conscious thought controls your body. That's what he's dealing with. Y'all better think on that.
And that's almost as bad as this brother running around here talking about women ain't supposed to have period. Hey, man, I'm going to tell y'all something if y'all listen.
No. Just think, hold on. Just think about what he said. That's not
real.
bad.
I hear what he said. You not your body. That's going to get some people in some trouble.
No, listen. If he tell you that you are not your body, what he's telling you is that number one is you are controlled by conscious. Your conscious thought is what controls your body, and that's real.
That's right.
Because guess what? As faith without works is dead, so the body without the spirit is dead. So the body dies, but we know that the spirit is still conscious. Because when you look at that term, the worm dieth not, that means the mind. Because they used to call the mind the spirit. So the spirit don't die, but the body is still the body dies and it lays out and it sleeps. So what he's saying is real. You are not your body. You exist outside of this body, and that goes what the scripture says. The things that we see are temporal, but the things that we do not see are eternal. You don't see spirit. Those things still are eternal because they're eternal energy. So guess what? It is the energy the energy that is attached to the consciousness that cause your body to move and be its being. So I agree with him.
But see, it'll be some. What I was saying was, and I hear what you're saying if you look at it from that perspective of what he's saying, but you will have somebody that would take exactly what he said and turn into something dangerous, because they would say, well, look, it's really just your body, and but your real self is not in this body. So whatever you do while you in this body, long as you got your chakras up and all that, you're going to be all right. And that caused people to not follow certain planetary laws that the Most High got set up. That's what I was saying. But I see what you're saying, too, if you look at it from the other angle.
And see, let me pull this out real quick so we can understand. So we just talked about controlling the food, right? Let me bring this out, and then we're going to open up these mics. Because I see the brothers been called in, so we're going to open up these mics. Let me see how much time we got on here. We got 9 minutes. Let's open up these mics. Bring out this real quick. Now, controlling of the food, right? We see already that your food is controlled. So we see how that's going to play a role that when we talk about food, clothing, and shelter, right? People got to eat. So then they already hate God. So due to the fact of them hating God, it's going to be just easy for them to slip over and just take the mark of the beast. Because they hate God anyways. And any other plan, they say, listen, we don't care what it is, but we not going to believe in God. So, hey, whatever thing y'all got for us, we'll take that over God. So y'all know they're going to take, like Unc says, real black atheist, spirituality is food, clothing, and shelter. That's what he say, the African perspective. But like I say, he don't say nothing about in his book talking about consciousness, thought, or morality, or conscience, or having knowledge of good and evil, and being able to determine or being God conscious. He don't talk about nothing like that. He try to strip African cultures of this mayat, basically, so to speak. What's balanced? What's just? What's good? He bring it to them the concept of ishfel, chaos, famine, plagues, misery. Because if you're shooting forth and you're dealing with the fleshly and you're not dealing with spiritual concepts, then what happens is you're taking on the concept of what we see going on now. Preservation of self.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're gonna wrap that mark up like a pretty present, man, with technology, and it's gonna look like a pretty present, but they don't know it's gonna be a box, one of them boxes from Brain Smurf, that's just gonna blow up on them, man. But yeah, they're gonna take that mark, cause they're gonna dress it up with some pretty technology and let you know, yeah, you can open your doors of your house, you can call whoever and do all this other stuff, and it's gonna be a wrap.
Exactly. So let me get these mics real quick because I know we got one brother that got his hands raised up and he be waiting patiently. And DeVar, don't get in here talking about no flat Earth, man. Peace, brother DeVar. DeVar. I don't know if he's still there. Can y'all hear me?
I had my bad.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah, I had it muted. My
DeVar.
bad.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. See, man. See, I'm gonna take it easy on you, but I'm gonna start going in on you sooner or later. You scared to talk. See, you scared to listen.
Look at him. Look at him. He said, "I'm gonna take it easy, but I'm gonna start going in."
I'm just listening right now.
Boy, I know, I hear you. I said, because I know I done went over there and did piece his master up over there on Debate Talk for You, so now he came.
I don't know. Tyler Payne, I've been on Flat Earth way before Tyler Payne.
I heard you over there, too. I said, oh, shuck it, duck, quack, quack. Look at this, brother.
Right. Yeah.
Man,
I met him just because he had backed me up on. I was talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was asking about it, so I was doing a quick crash course for somebody, and Tyler Payne was like, "Yep, this, that." And, he was dropping his knowledge. I said, "This man knows just as much as I do." So I sent him a friend request. That was just a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Like
so you
that.
want to add to what we were talking about tonight, man? What you think about, man?
Pretty much everything makes sense. That the selfishness of outside of biblical lessons and biblical mastery is completely obvious to people who adhere to the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Normal people that just walk around and just say, oh man, that's good, that's bad, because they just their judgment is based on how they feel in the moment. So if someone is being extremely nice to them and lying straight to their face, then they feel that person is doing a good deed. You know what I mean? So they're very confused. They just go strictly off of emotions and feelings.
Exactly. So we already see that early on that food, clothing, and shelter controls people's behaviors. So if that can control your behavior, right, we know already you're failing. You're not succeeding right now. Because life is so much more outside as energy, and you have to balance yourself. And if you're murdering, you're stealing, you're killing right now, and over all these things, over food, clothing, and shelter, hey, listen, the next life, hey, your body is not preserved by food or any of those things. So you don't have to eat just to survive in the next life. So we got to understand that when you're doing these wicked things, you're basically being tested. And when you're displaying this wickedness and you have this administration to govern yourself appropriately, and you're not living like Esau, and you're not trading in your spirituality or your blessings due to the fact of bread, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Killing nobody for this clothing or certain things that you don't need, right? So this is what's going on a community level and also on an international level. And this been going on before even the white man came in. Black empires was doing this since the beginning, because we see during the time of hunting and gathering, this is what they had to do. If they didn't understand each other, they're going to kill, because they are one person may be inferior of the next. They don't know what you're trying to do. They just know that they trying to eat and you trying to eat too. So somebody going to have to get it, and they looking at it, hey, I need it before you need it. Some people may say, and let me bring out this too, so you can understand this about the Most High and the Creator. If you notice something about Jesus, if you think it's literal or you want to take it figuratively, it does not matter. Convey when this man took 2 loaves of bread and some fish, He took 2 loaves of bread. You got 90 seconds to call in to hear the rest of the show. And just gave me the update, 90 seconds. The number is 917-889-2233. 917-889-2233. Call in to hear the rest of the show. If not, you're not going to be able to listen anymore. So call in to hear the rest of the show, y'all. Press number 1 and to put you in the host queue if you want to ask a question, get into the discussion, or make a statement, basically. So you got that. You got that much time. 60 seconds, a minute now. Call in. Listen to the rest of the show. So, right? So, we see, where was I at? Oh, man. I see you 252. I'm going to get your mic. Matter of fact, I see you 314. Let me get your mic. Hold on. Let me get your mic. Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Let me get your 314. Peace and blessings. Your mic is open.
Shalom, Mark. What's going on?
What's going on? How you doing?
Shalom, brother.
Shalom. I had a question, man. What y'all think the mark of the beast is? I heard you say something about technology and what the mark is going to be. And I want to know what y'all think that mark is.
I think it's a chip, brother.
I think for the most part it is. Go ahead, sorry.
I think it's the chip, but you know, it could be other things that's added to that. But for one, I think it's that chip. For one, you know what I'm saying. But like I said, I think it's a chip, but it could be something. It could be an arm of things that's attached to that. But for one, I think it's that chip for sure.
Well, I'll say from my standpoint, what we do know, you know, it's been plenty of debates about this, about would it be a chip, would it be something else. What we do know, it will be literal, and it will be able to be seen. So whether a chip is added to that or not, like the brother said, that may be the case with the technology we have coming out. But we know it will be visual, because when you read the scriptures, it tells you that they're gonna be able to see. But you have some people say, well, that might be swiping of a card. But then it tells you it's in your right hand and on your forehead. And the first thing that I always think of is how LaRon was saying earlier, how they prepping us for certain stuff. Everybody may not hold the same idea I do as far as the Catholic Church, but one thing I will say that they do is that Ash Wednesday. And every time I see Ash Wednesday, and they got people coming to them, putting that little dirty ash on their forehead and the sign of a cross, you know what I'm saying? I always think they is prepping these people to get a mark. You know what I'm saying? Because especially if you're looking at it, you're like, oh, well, it's coming from a spiritual person. It ain't nothing bad. But why would they put that on your forehead? You know, so I believe whatever it is going to be literal. It's going to be able to be seen. And if you don't get it, and that's the thing about it, because how would people know? How would people that ain't in the government, that don't have that technology, be able to know whether you have it or not? Because they'll be able to see it. So I mean, whatever it is literal. Anybody else know?
That's real, my brother. Because when you look up the word mark, like when you look up that word, it means to cut or to insert or something to that effect. When you look up that word mark. So you right. That could even be a tattoo, right? And under that definition, you can apply like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That could be you know what I'm saying? I think you can. But when you see mark, when you look up that definition in that, they say it goes back to cut or to insert something to that effect.
Yeah, I think real quick. Let me give my standpoint on it. I think when we're pushing off into nanotechnology and dealing with neurology and a lot of those things. So we deal with the brain within itself. We talk about chips being embedded, or either we talk about basically Somebody got to mute their mic. You got a lot of stuff going on in the background. You might have to mute your mic and then open.
It sounds like somebody surfing or something at Venice Beach. Yeah, somebody got a lot of work going on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be dealing with it. Okay, cool. I think what it's going to be dealing with, it's going to deal with like a chip, right? And this chip is going to be your registry. In other words, everything you're going to be on the grid. You have to be on the grid. You have to be registered at all times. But it's probably going to be something that's cool to the people because they're going to look at no currency. In other words, when you talk about using money to buy, sell, or trade, you're not going to be able to use. You're not going to have. You don't have to use that anymore. Everything is going to be by way of either scanning your hand, which is your fingerprint, and also dealing with neurology, dealing with your mind or your brain, basically. Depending on what type of aspect. They even got now out. They got software now over across seas to where they're doing what you call computer technical tattoos, basically. Computer-based tattoos where they embedded in your skin. So it's going to deal with something literal that can ID you, as we see now something taking place, this dealing with buy, sell, or trade. When we talk about buy and sell or trade, we're talking about commerce and currency. So we see that in order to buy, sell, or trade, there's going to be one currency, and then in order to create this, you have to create a crisis. For instance, it's called crisis management. You create a security issue dealing with identity theft, right? So you create this security issue, then you create also a management to manage the security issue. So that's what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is people are going to basically cry out for this solution they're going to give you to this management, to this crisis. They're going to basically crisis and manage it due to the fact of creating a solution. And it's going to be introducing to you the mark, basically. So they're going to say that we don't need, we don't have to have, this is a cool thing, even with dealing with the smartphones and technology. But everything has to be registered due to the fact of I can take this phone or take anything. That's why they want you to register all your equipment, because they know what's in your house. They know what you have. They know what type of software you have. Because usually the time what happens is people like Arabs or Muslims or Islamics, they can take this equipment, or either Russians, and they can make all types of spy devices. But if your equipment is registered and they making you register equipment, they know what equipment you got in your house. So everything has to be on the grid, and I think that's what's going to take place.
Okay, Alex.
So let me ask you this real quick, brother, and then I want to drop back and ask another question.
Hey! Before you ask him,
hold on. Let him. Hold on, real quick, Nikhil. Let him get his question. He got to get his question in because it's the guest. Go ahead, brother.
All right. So when the brother, I don't know who it was speaking about, getting prepped, putting a mark on your head. So let me ask you. So are you going to let somebody put a mark or draw something on your forehead or stick something in your hand? Would you go and stand in a line and allow somebody to do that to you?
Oh, see, I'm glad you asked that, because we had a miniature debate about this before. If you read the scriptures, when it talk about it, it lets you know that, you know what I'm saying, basically, that's why you have the choice to refuse. So if somebody's sneaking something into you, then you have no choice to refuse. So you definitely going to have an option, and a lot of people are going to be forced to take this. So, yeah, that's the scriptures actually say that. That's the whole reason he's going to penalize those who take it, because you're going to have a choice. So that's without a doubt, according to the scripture.
That's right. That's right, brother.
Some people going to willingly take it because it's going to be a type of technology that causes their life to be comfortable. They're going to willingly take that more.
Right.
They're going to hate God so much, they're going to take it.
That's right.
Like you said, dealing with the water, shelter, and clothing, a lot of people are going to be so desperate, they may even know that this is that mark. And they going to be so desperate that they going to say, you know what, give it to me, man, because I got to eat, I got a family. And that's the reason that he's so adamant about it. Like, you better not take this. So it ain't going to be like, you know, you're going to go to a doctor's appointment and they're going to sneak something in you, because then you're not held responsible for that. That would just eliminate the whole prophecy, you know, the whole basically consequence for the prophecy, because then you're not held responsible for it. The whole fact is you're going to have a chance to deny it. It even talks about those saints who shall be beheaded for Christ. Meaning there's people that's going to say, heck no, I ain't taking it. Kill me. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to be mortal. So, yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
Real quick, y'all. Hey, real quick. Hold on, brother, real quick. I got to open up this next mic, and then you can ask your other question. But let me open up this next mic.
Oh, that's what.
252, your mic is open. Peace.
Peace and black power. I think I've been here. What's up, man? I'm King Amir Shakur, General, founder of the Black Guerrilla Army. We're in 12 states and 4 countries. As in this week, we'll be in Norway, in the UK. We police our own communities. We feed our people. Right now we have little small jobs, but I say in a couple of months to next year, it'll be better. Want the kids to school, all types of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a down-to-earth guy, too. You know, we just got on Facebook like last year, so y'all can look up Black Guerrilla Army or whoever, Amir Shakur, Naomi Shakur. Our secretary just flew from Cali. You know what I'm saying? They helped me do some paperwork. I'm in Carolina right now currently. And, you know, I run around, man. This King Noble show, right?
Nah, this ain't King.
No.
Well, who's ever show this radio, how can I link up with y'all off of this call? Because I just joined. We just joined hands with the People's New Black Panther Party, and talking about I gotta have a sit down with General Taco and them. I might link up with them too. You know what I'm saying? But we having a big rally in Texas, Austin, Texas, June 19th. Everybody welcome. You brothers want to get my number and call me after this. You know what I'm saying? So we can talk a little more. You feel me? Y'all welcome to do so. But we having a clothes drive on Malcolm X's birthday, giving away clothes and shit in every state, every country. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, y'all link up.
Okay, I see this so good. My fault. Go ahead, G-Con.
I know you're on Facebook, though, right?
Word.
I know you said you were on Facebook. What's your name on Facebook?
My name is Amir Shakur. They wouldn't let me put King, but this is my name, King Amir Shakur. But on Facebook, it's Amir Shakur with an E.
How you spell Shakur?
SHAKUR.
So let me ask you, I see that you're a proactive and progressive group. Did this BGA originate from the original BGA on the West Coast?
No, sir. Actually,
okay.
This wasn't even supposed to happen. Well, it was supposed to happen, but, you know, I planned on this like 4 years ago after watching Blood In and Blood Out, to be real, but I just met the, like, original people from the BGA. I paid homage to all of them from New York City to Baltimore. And I also just came from California to meet with the Peru Bloods and shit, and the Nutty Block Crips and the GDs out of Chicago. I got one there, OG. He in the LA right now. He gonna have a sit down with those brothers, and we gonna do something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, you know that's up my alley. You know, we would have to talk privately and see exactly what the exactly what the motive. From what I'm hearing, is real good, it's progressive. But I would have to be careful exactly what I get involved with. But I'm an anti-gang violence activist here in Chicago, and I deal with the vice lords, these black songs, the whole nine. So we can hook up offline.
Give me your email and Facebook.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. My email, brother, is Mike Ward. That's WARD322212
Look, check this out, brother. To make it more easy, just write my phone number down. Y'all got my phone number.
That'll work. Hold on. That'll work. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely with that, brother. Anytime somebody with if it's gonna help the community, I'm with it. What's your number?
Let me ask you something, brother. Are you familiar with Makio Zulu Shakur? Because West Coast is his territory. He's the chairman of the People's New Black Panther Party. That's the brother that I actually met last week.
Oh, actually, I am familiar with him because I say probably about 9-10 years ago. I don't think he was up there then, but 9-10 years ago, they actually used to send me letters and try to get me to join. I have my own reasons I did, but yeah, we'll talk off air, brother. Just give me your phone number.
Yeah, it's up there. It's on your call.
Okay.
It's on your call out there. If
it's on there, LeRon, you just write it down, LeRon, because he probably don't want to say it over the air, so just write it down, and I'll get it from GCon.
Can I say something on the air right quick? Like, can I say something on the air?
Yeah, just try to keep it clean. Bro. We gotta, listen.
Okay, it's legal though. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how y'all feel about white people, but we don't deal. And we just beat a murder charge in February, so we more physical. Instead of, we have so many defense groups, it's ready for somebody to, fuck them, and we not those. We need more offensive groups. We have no offense people. We only have self-defense this, self-defense that. Who is going to fight before they fight? Because they fight. We not at war, they at war, because we don't want to get killed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's now, I'm gonna tell you my standpoint so you can know. I'm not just I'm against white supremacy. If there's someone that's not that's dealing with righteousness and trying to better and help and empower and to lift up the people that are being oppressed, I'm with them, and that don't matter what color they is. But I'm against white supremacy, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not against all white people. The majority of people who deal with supremacy, but for the most part, for those that are standing to help out, from different colors or whatever the case may be, I'm with them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just with
well, we're not anti-white. That's what we're not anti-white.
Oh, okay, cool.
But we deal with our people. You feel me? This is for us. You know what I'm saying? We don't have nothing as a nation that a white person sitting down in. You know what I'm saying? So we,
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's about us. You feel me? We deal with all brown and black. You know what I'm saying? We plan on dealing with whites probably 10 years or 5 years down the line, but right now our people lost as hell, and we worried about us. They worried about them. You know what I'm saying? We got to be strong. I just turned 27. You feel me? I'm a King Tut type of warrior. I'm on the front line with my people. You know what I'm saying? So somebody got to be strong, man.
I feel me? Hey, I feel that, brother. But hey, I'm gonna say this. I'm a soldier of the Most High, so I'm already a part of an army that the Most High is gathering. You know what I'm saying? We could work together, do whatever. But at the same, but my foundation is the scriptures. You know what I mean? And I'm a soldier of the Most High, and that's like the Most High say, He sent out many fishes, and then He's gonna send out many hunters. So when that time comes and that great day come, you know what I mean? We'll settle it.
Right, and I'll say one thing I did know about the new Black Panther Party stuff. That's the new revived version of one of the brothers in Chicago.
People or the new?
No, I'm talking about the new one. The new. One of the young brothers I went to high school with here in Chicago, And when I did, he reached out to me, and I asked the same guidelines that the brother just said to you, because I am a soldier of the Most High also, so I have to do things righteously. You know, so I just can't react off emotions. But what he explained to me when he broke it down was it wasn't about being anti-nobody. It was about being pro your people. So you had to get your people together first, and then you have to defend your own community. So I understand the literature and all those types of things that you're saying. So maybe you and the brother, you and the brother could hook up or whatever. I got your number, but I'm glad LeBron put that out there. You know, it's
well, let me ask you a couple questions real quick,
bro.
Let me ask you a quick question real quick, brother, because I know that number one is we always got to stay prepared, and I will say this live, you need to learn how to shoot. You got to be fit. You got to get you some type of you got to get you some type of armory. That's bottom line, because if they talking about taking guns away, you better get you some type of artillery going. So for those that listening in, I agree with those. I agree that it's going to take a time that, as even the scriptures say, that, hey, now it's time to take up those swords, which I told you to lay down at first, not to use, because I'm with you. But now that I'm not, hey, you need to take up some swords, and because when it comes time, the wolves coming in, and it's going to come time to get busy. Now, this is what I want to say, because to me, it's EBK with me for reals. It's EBK for everybody killer. If you on some foolishness, I don't care if you're black, white, whatever, you're gonna have to get this deal. That's just bottom line. But what I want to ask you is this, brother, because I know that we have to get our people together mentally. Would you agree to that?
I came from the Nation of Islam myself.
Wow, exactly. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, because what we suffering from in our neighborhoods is what we talked about tonight, man. Is people behaviors being corrupted due to the fact of food, clothing, and shelter. In other words, people will sell a brother out for food, clothing, and shelter.
Yes,
sir. So we have to get our mentality. We have to get our mentality together, because we can go to war, right? And the time is not yet, but we have to stay ready. We always, because like I told them last night, it's always going to be to where it has to be physical contact. If I tell you doing this and you won't stop doing it, then I'm going to have to take some physical contact on you now. So I agree with that. But timing is very important. And right now, if you do some stuff with these brothers who we dealing with now, it's just about food, clothing, and shelter to control their behaviors, and they don't have no good moral stance, everything that you put together will be shattered. Because you know why? They don't know how to keep cold, man. They don't know how to keep cold.
That's real right there, brother. That is so real.
Yeah, we also, I have to look at some land this weekend that somebody trying to give us. So, with the food thing, we good on the food and the clothes. You know what I'm saying? So, basically, you know what I'm saying, everybody got a recipe, in this army. If you can make cookies, you know what I'm saying, and the people love the cookies, they waiting for your cookies. You do cookies, because everybody is a star. Everybody got something special about them, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said about the food and the clothes, we good on that. We need more though. I ain't saying that we just good, we can feed the whole world, and you know what I'm saying? Because this, my organization only been running for a year. You feel me? And I'm blessed to be where I am now. You know what I'm saying? In the position, not as a leader, but as a black male in America. Period. You feel me? Blessed to do what I can do for the people, door to door, whatever we got to do to make sure the people get it. You know what I'm saying? But I will. I'm waiting on y'all brother's phone call. Y'all get at me and we can talk more off the air.
Cool. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say too, because I just one of the sisters, man, was just had inbox, man, said make sure you keep it kind of cool, you know, because you know she with the movement too. But yeah, man. So what I was gonna do is because I looked up your name. I'm looking you up on Facebook right now. But what's your number, man? Because I got, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I know you.
I change my number every 2-3 months. It's 252.
Matter of fact, you ain't even hold on. Listen, you ain't even got to announce. Hold on. You ain't even got to announce it. It's on my board already. I'm looking right at it. That way we'll do it that way. That way, you know, I got you. You locked in. And your name is Amir Shakur, right? Because I looked you up on Facebook. It didn't even pull up for real.
Okay, it's Amire.
Amire. Okay, I got you. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I talk kind of reckless, but that's anywhere. It's just not. I'm more out. I say what
brother, you be peaceful, man. You be peaceful. You be safe, and you keep your head on straight, man. And don't trust everybody, brother. You hear me?
Yes, sir. Peace, y'all.
All right, bro. We'll be getting up with
you. Peace.
Hey, so how are you brothers all for y'all people, but you turn around and include white people?
You say what?
I said, how are y'all all for the people, but you are not against all white people? How are y'all not anti-white?
Because the scripture said we battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and wickedness in high places. Well, that's why I stand there.
Okay.
Who is this speaking? Who is this speaking? First off, who is this speaking? So we'll know who we address.
That's one of the brothers. That's one of the guys. Let us.
Yeah, this is Officer John before the ISUPK. You understand? And what I'm trying to figure out is every organization from back in the past failed simply because they involved white people. You understand? And I hear y'all saying that y'all soldiers of the Most High. And in the scriptures, it says we're supposed to gather ourselves together, like Zephaniah 2:1 say, "O nation not desire." It don't say bring everybody else in. The only thing a white person can do for me is be my goddamn slave. You understand what I'm saying? So how is y'all talking about 5 or maybe 10 years down the line we'll give it to white people, but for right now it's all about us. I'm against white supremacy, but not against all white people. But all white people are white supremacists. They all are for their own people. They all are racist. They all love their own people. And we failing right now on this phone. What I'm hearing is the same failure from back in the day when they was including white people. When you ain't all against it, you cannot be on, what they say, like straddle the fence. You can't be all for your people, but then, okay, y'all come over here. You see what I'm saying? Chinese folks ain't for nobody but Chinese folks. They not for white people.
Hey, but they.
Russians
hold on,
ain't
let me
for
ask you a
nobody
question.
but Russians. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you this quick question: Do white people do business? Do white people do business with do the Chinese do business with white people?
That's something totally different. Doing business.
Now,
with
that ain't
them,
hold on, bro. Listen. Hold on, bro. Listen. Let me say this real quick. Number one is.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one is even Israel did business with people that was outside of Israel, right? And then another thing too is Abraham was called from Ur of the Chaldeans, and it said the ND or the seed that was coming out of him should all the nations of the earth be blessed, or families of the earth, right? So the Most High called him and called them to be basically somebody that was. Basically, the government are over these people to cause them to be blessed just as well, or to be an example before these people.
That's not true. The other nations of people are not promised to be blessed because of Abraham. That's not true.
And another thing, tell me, let me ask you this, another thing, too. Let me say this, because I got to say this, and this may make you mad, and other brothers make you mad, but let me ask you this. How you know you even an Israelite in the first place?
How do I know that? Because of the ISUPK.
Because of the ISUPK. What the hell is ISUPK, bro?
Well, let me ask him something.
I need to ask him something.
Hold on, brother. Do the Africans get in, bro? Do the Africans get in?
No,
because you know I'm a African. I'm an African, bro.
That's why you're talking all that all world stuff, because you are one of the other nations.
Go ahead,
Okay, hold up. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Oh man. Let me ask you a question, bro. Hey, let me ask you a question. This shalom to you, brother. Shalom. Look, let me ask you a question. I've been sitting here listening. Yeah, this brother Mikael been Israel, Hebrews in the hood. I'm definitely a Hebrew Israelite. So I want to ask you a question, brother. Now, I hear what you're saying, but you also know in the scriptures, when it say that we would be a peculiar people amongst the other nations, so when they look at us, they'll say them was a great and wise people. This if we didn't mess up, right? So if we didn't mess up, would not the world and the planet be governed by us? Yes or no?
Okay, I'm going to answer that question, and then I'm going to give you a comment right behind.
Okay, and I want to, and while you at it, I want you to go to 1 Kings. I want you to go to 1 Kings chapter 8 too. While you at it, we're gonna let the sword talk.
I'm driving right now. I just getting off slave. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll read it to you.
Okay, hold on.
Answer the question. Okay.
What you said, yeah, that's correct. We would rule over these other nations. You understand? If we had not have sinned against the Most High. Right. But them being blessed because of us, that's not true. And that's why the African made that statement. Because that's what all the other nations have done, is taken what belongs to us, our law, our archaeology, our heritage, our color. They took everything and they're using it for themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So they so-called claiming that they're blessed by God. The Jewish white man, he gets billions and billions of dollars from this country every year. He claims he's blessed by God. He claims that he's a chosen people of God. You see what I'm saying? So anybody can just say that they're blessed by God. I mean, hell, homosexuals say that they blessed. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Drug dealers say they blessed. Okay,
true.
So that thing about all the nations being blessed by God, that is not true. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, well, look here.
And all nations are not supposed to be included in what we doing right here. No African. You understand what I'm saying? Africans help sell our people into slavery. So what the hell do I want to do with bringing them in, you understand what I'm saying, to my fight and our struggle when we don't have the same fight, the same struggle? The Arabs help build the ships that we got over here on. You understand what I'm saying? So why would I turn around and join a Muslim? Why would I be, you know what I'm saying, eat a bean pie or sell a final call tomorrow? I worship Allah. You understand what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
Can I say something?
Hey, look, this what I'm saying to you. No, I feel what you're saying. Now, see, I have my own point of views on that, and I understand what you're saying by even Israel tell us, you got to get Israel straight before anything, before you be dealing with anybody. But here's where the problem come in with what you're saying, brother, because you know how we do it. You from ISUPK, y'all follow things according to the scriptures. The camp that I come from, we specifically follow things according to the scriptures. You have to remove emotions, and we got to use logic. So I'm going to read 1 Kings. Because this is where my problem is at. I know that we going to rule the kingdom. That was a promise to us. But when people saying that, for instance, we going to be in there beating people and all this type of stuff, then we acting exactly like they did. When we supposed to be godly, we going to be righteous with our rulership, bro. Because the vengeance that they did against us, that vengeance is going to be taken out. It's going to be taken out on them regardless. You know, as Zechariah, it said they furthered the affliction. I was a little displeased with the heathen, but they furthered the affliction, meaning they did more than he even told them to do. So they going to get what they got coming. But you cannot take away from the fact that it is people that's going to be righteous out of those nations. I want to read this to you real quick. This 1 Kings chapter 42. Listen to what this say, brother. And I want you to tell me what this means. Verse 41. Moreover, concerning a stranger. Now, we going to kill right now. This ain't talking about no Israelite, because listen, that is not of thy people Israel. So we see right now this is not an Israelite. So we can't play that game that it's an Israelite that live in Great Britain or something. It's talking about another race. It say, but cometh out of a far country for thy name's sake, for Thy shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm. And when he shall come and pray toward this house. So we got another race of people that's going to come, and they're going to be praying toward the Holy Land like we are. Listen to this. Hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee for, that all people of the earth may know thy name, to fear thee, as do thy people Israel, and that they may know that this house which I have built is called by thy name. Now, brother, tell me what that means.
Now, you think that means that all nations is going to be gathered together in the kingdom?
I ain't saying what I think it means. I read what it said.
Okay, read what it said again. Read what it said again and break it down to me as to what it means.
I'll do it one more time, brother. No problem.
Read it and break it down.
This out of love. I'm going to do it. This out of love. I'm going to read it. It says, moreover, concerning a stranger. So right now he's letting you know, I'm giving you instructions concerning the stranger, the same ones we've had problems with in the past. Listen to this. That is not of thy people Israel. Not the scattered ones, not ones who think like a Gentile. He said, is not of thy people. So he made it specifically letting you know he wasn't talking about an Israelite. But cometh out of a far country for thy name's sake. Remember, we supposed to be the light unto the world. So even some of these other nations is going to want to see what this truth is that we get. For they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm, when he shall come and pray toward this house. Hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee for. So whatever the stranger calleth for, we supposed to go on. We supposed to take our position as the leader, priest, holy people, and we supposed to instruct this creation that he made. That all people of the earth, not of the world of Israel, that's, you use the word cosmos, all people of the earth may know thy name, to fear thee as do thy people Israel. So the people Israel already set up. We know who the Most High is. He's only been dealing with us at this point. It said, but they'll be able to do it like Israel and say that they may know that this house which I have built it is called by my name.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if that means, according to you, if that means that all nations, whatever they come and ask for, hey, can I join y'all? Can I be down with y'all? Can I rock fringes and
I didn't say that.
Can I get out there and speak? I mean, I'm just saying. You said whatever they come and ask for. So why did Christ say not to go to Samaritans and not to go to Gentiles, the other nations of people?
Because it was not the appointed time for that. That's very simple. I can answer that with my hands tied behind my back and my eyes blindfolded. Everything in its due time and in its due season. It was not the time for that.
Okay, my brother from the ISUPK, I want to ask you one thing before you expound on that, my brother, because the brother Ron asked you something that was real important to me. He asked you, how did you know you was an Israelite? You said you was from the ISUPK, but what you should have said is you should have went to the scriptures and said, our spirit bear witness that we're Israelites. That's what you should have said, my brother. So you said ISUPK, so that means you giving credit to man.
How you going to tell me what I should have said when I said what I said and what I said is correct? I'm going to tell you why I said what I said.
Because we got to use the scriptures to expound.
The men in the ISUPK showed me and told me through the scriptures that I was an Israelite, man. So what is wrong with a man paying homage to another man for showing him the scriptures? Y'all act like that's such a ridiculous thing, man.
I'm not saying it's ridiculous.
When we say that we follow command and duty and honor, man, the scripture says, "Be ye continue with the man that thou knowest and keep the commandments." You understand what I'm saying? And I know that man keeps the commandments. Christ, was he not a man? Yes, he was. Okay, and guess what? We following that man. So what is the problem with me saying that I learned the truth from the ISUPK?
No, he asked you how did you know you was an Israelite. He asked you how was you you know you was an Israelite.
That's part of the truth, right?
Well, hold on, let me say this, bro. Let me say this to you real quick, brother.
Hold on, before you do that, is that or is that not part of the truth to know your nationality?
It's part of the truth, my brother, but all I'm saying is that would have been a better answer to give.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Real quick, brother. So I gotta say this, bro. Now, number one is, what is it else that you want to say? Because I'm about to mute your mic, and I'm gonna let you know, bro. I know you from St. Louis, but I'm finna go in on you the next week, bro. ISUPK gotta get it, because what you just said tonight, bro, I'm gonna have to go in on you.
Why you gonna mute the mic? Why you gonna say what you gotta say? Go in and then mute the mic.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you.
If you gonna dismiss me, just dismiss me, bro. But don't do no chump shit, man.
Hold on. Listen, bro.
We talking, right? Everybody get to say what they want to say. But you wanna cut me off. You wanna go in on me, cut the mic off.
No.
That's a coward, man. That's a coward, brother. You understand what I'm saying? That's a coward move. That's a coward move, man. You understand what I'm saying? We can go back and forth.
Yeah, man, I don't. Hey, listen, like I said, bro, ain't no going back and forth, bro, if you ain't letting nobody talk. And then, first off, this is not what this show about. But I do want to address what you said. I was going to let you get your last words in that you had to say. And number one, when I had called an ISUPK about 2 years or 3 years ago, they cut me up off the phone and didn't let me say what I got to say. I let you say what you had to say. Like I told you next week, you could come on next week. I'm finna go in on you next week and on ISUPK. Because hey, listen, bro, I'm not walking around in no damn turtle outfits with ninja stars and swords and leather do-rags, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not walking around in none of that. Those ain't no damn priestly garments, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's 80 and 90 degrees outside, bro, for the most part. Nah, I don't do that, bro. And another thing, too, is, bro, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't need no shoulder pads and also knee pads to get down in these streets, bro. That's the first thing, bro, because I got to move freely. So I don't need no tapered up garments or none of that, bro. So with that being said, let me say this, bro. Ain't nobody using no goddamn swords or no nunchucks or none of that. You see what I'm saying? So there ain't nobody using none of that, first off. And the secondly, I'm going to tell you like this, next week, when it comes to these scriptures, Mikael already cut you up, so there's no need for me even to say anything else. But when you get to disrespecting my ancestors and then telling me, number one, that you are not, that you are Israelite, you're going to have to prove that to me, right? So number one, you act like whatever came across on that boat was all Israelites. Is you crazy? Like you had a stamp on you that said that you was an Israelite. You must have lost your mind, bruh. So I don't have to know that I don't go around and say you are Israelite or anybody an Israelite, so therefore you woke. You a goddamn lie on that. You sleep and you lying still. Because number one, the spirit tells you don't put no confidence in the flesh. So why are you worried about that anyway? I know. Like the Most High say that you are Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me. So I can give a damn that you say that you are Israelite. You know how many people say that they Israelite? We just talked about that tonight. The lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and the lust of the eyes. Give a damn about you talking about you are Israelite. The promise was before there was even an Israelite, there was even in existence. Genesis 3 and 15. So we definitely gonna get it in, and ISUPK we gonna get it in. Because number one, you don't come on this panel and get disrespecting my ancestors and think that I'm supposed to be when you know and I know that my ancestors come from the land of Africa, and the majority of my people come from Uganda. So you tripping, bruh. I'm a co-laborer with Israel and a partaker with them, but don't get it twisted. You're not going to sit there and disregard and talk this foolishness and talk about can't nobody but Israel get in. You crazy. Before there was Israel, there was a promise. So with that being said, you already got cut. But just know next week I'm not gonna let that slide. Then you from my city too? You crazy? You done lost your mind, man.
That's real. That's real, brother.
That's why I muted your mic, because you're not finna get on here and be disrespectful and start disrespecting. That's why I muted your mic, bro. Like I said, next week, tune in, listen in. You can call in, and you're going to get cut with these scriptures, and you better have an answer. And tell Tazariak I said that, and tell him to cross the line.
That's right, Rod. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, my man.
Oh, man, can we all just get along, man? Hey,
we must contend for the truth, my brother. We must contend for the truth, brother.
Most definitely, I mean, the truth is the truth, man. You know me, man. I love them brothers, man. And my bros, they play their part. But, hey, truth is truth, man. I let the book talk. And I see the brother he ain't had no answer for that 1 Kings and 8, man. And my thing is, look, because my thing is this, right? I know what's going to go down. I know what's going to happen. And I don't have to explain myself to nobody because everybody know that I'm proactive in my community. I ain't going to nobody else's community. I'm going to mine. And at the same time, we get to breaking this book down. We can't act like we got selective reading. Because I'm going to tell you, man, a lot of these brothers out here in these camps, man, it's certain scriptures they don't read. But they would jump on the Sunday Christians about them only reading one verse and all that. I listen to brothers over and over, and they read the same verses. And I know why. Because a verse like that one that I just dropped, I don't care how you try to translate it, Arabic, Aramaic, Hebrew, you could try to create an Atlantean language or whatever you want to. It say exactly what it said. I didn't have to put no spin on it. And that's the true word of God. You know, if you're going to say you the home of the truth, and again, y'all know this, I love them brothers, but if you're going to say you the home of the truth, it's certain things that you shouldn't be out here. Basically, you should be able to explain that. That brother shouldn't have froze up when I just dropped that. Now he's finna go to the laboratory and try to figure out how to ask that and put a spin on it. But see, where I come from, we ready at all times. Like you say, be ready to answer any man at any time. Ready at all times because I got the truth. You see what I'm saying? I know I got the truth.
Gotta stay ready so you know how to get ready.
Man. He gonna go back to his captain there, man, and like I said, when I called in, I chewed them up. I hit them with that Isaiah 49:6. They didn't know what to do when it talks about. Matter of fact, let's go to
the house would be a house of prayer. You talking about say my house would be a house of prayer for all people? They say let the stranger not say that I'll cut off.
Yeah, I didn't even go there, but you know what I'm saying. But watch this, I didn't even go there, but he gonna get cut right here too. Come in here, disrespecting. And then number one, and we gonna deal with this. I got you next week, brother. See, I didn't really want to get off into this because we was dealing with something else, but for the most part, you done got me sparked up. You done got me energized now. So now
I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know why that brother called in with that. I don't know who he thought was on here or something like that. But I'm sharp with this.
And watch this. Exactly, because he got cut and he didn't even realize he was cut, leaking out all over the place, and still didn't even know he got cut. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. Let me bring this out right quick. Isaiah 49:6. This is what I said to them on ISUPK when I called in. And they got mad and tried to hang up. I could care less about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Samurai suits on, man. It says, and he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob. Now understand this. He telling him it's a light thing that thou should be my servant to raise up. Now we know the tribes of Jacob consist of what, man? 12 tribes, right? We understand that. So we ain't gonna play no games. So watch this. He's talking to Isaiah. He's talking about Isaiah raising up the tribes of Jacob, and he said to restore the preserved of Israel. Because see, there is a preserved that's outside of Israel, that's in Israel, that's preserved in Israel. So he said to restore the preserved of Israel. Right. So watch this. And I will also underline the also, man. We're going to stop playing games here, man. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles. This is the gospel. This is the same thing he told Abraham. through thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. So he's saying also, so after he's talking.
And did you hear the key point? Did you hear the key points you just read? He said he would raise up the tribes of Jacob, right? That just killed right there who he talking about, because that's the natural Israelite. That means Jacob. He's dealing with genealogy. He's dealing with bloodline. Then he said, a light unto the Gentiles. So them can't be Gentiles in the New Testament that's lost, because he just named all the tribes of Israel through Jacob. So it means the Goyim or other nations. Right.
And see, when I pulled out the also, that should let him know that's the conjunction right there, that you stuck right there. Because if he just talked about the tribes of Jacob and the preserved of Israel, who is the guy? Who is the also then? And he tells
the Gentiles.
The Gentiles, bro. Exactly.
Yeah, they'll read them verses, bro. They don't read them verses. You ain't never seen them on the corner reading them.
Watch what he say though. Watch this. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that my salvation may be unto the ends of the earth. Did he not just tell Abraham the same thing? And then another thing, I want to bring out something when he said the Gentiles, the Japheth, to dwell in the booths of Shem. If you only knew what that means, bro. If you only knew what that means, and you get the breakdown of that, what that's talking about. In other words, if they dwell in the booth, Shem is the name, right? So if Shem is the name, then it means that Japheth should dwell with the name and the tents. So what is that telling you? He should be a light unto the Gentiles, or in the Gentiles to trust in him. The Gentiles to trust in his name. So guess what? The Gentiles is going to dwell in the name. Stop playing, bro. When you break down the etymology of what we're dealing with, you understand that Abraham was basically called from Ur of the Chaldeans after the Tower of Babel, when the Most High no longer could deal with men as a whole, because they failed him as a whole, and he began to come through a nation, and then he tells them, I'm going to call thee to testify or go against these false gods and to bring these people back unto me. Before there was even the Israel, a Redeemer was promised, as we see Cain and Abel sacrificing and our ancestors sacrificing to appease the Almighty before Israel even came into existence. So the Most High had already promised. It's just that when they failed him, he came through Israel, and he didn't choose Israel because they was this and that, whoop-wop, and they was all this and that. Nah, he told them they was a stiff-necked people. Right? So we seeing that. But why did he choose them? Because of Abraham. That's why. Because Abraham hearkened unto him, and when Abraham hearkened unto him, he made a promise and to Abraham, and Abraham kept that condition, kept his contract. So therefore, the Most High fulfilled his promise and is fulfilling his promise. Playing games, man, because we already know that Abraham trusted in it. He trusted in the Most High God, and because he trusted in him, the Most High gave him a promise and to his seed, and then told him that through his seed will all the nations of the earth be blessed. And then look at the scripture that Mikael ben Israel just read. And you still sitting here wearing knee pads and shoulder pads and leather do-rags? Nah, that ain't how we rock, man. You let us down with the ninja stars and the noon chucks.
Nah, the thing that tripped me out, man, I know what brother that is now. I've watched him on, his videos. He my Facebook friend. Y'all know him, the little short chubby brother, man. He you know what I'm saying, he wear respect with ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? I always was cool with the brother. So why he jumped on here with that and thought that, I don't know, it was some steps in the word or something like that. I don't know where he got that from, but that's just, I don't know. I don't know where that came from.
He from St. Louis, though. That's what's so crazy about it. Yeah, he's from St. Louis, man.
Well, he knows to call back in next week. Him and G-Con can, turn it into a debate, or he's going to need to go get someone with some more rank.
Ooh, easy, Carl. You know they coming for that tail, boy.
He gotta get this work though. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, you got it, brother. You can hold your own, man. You know what I'm saying? You got it.
Yeah, we gonna bring out them scriptures next week. I'm going to war, man. So y'all, I don't know. I can't take Mikael to war with me because I don't want his captain to start a war. Well, you know what? Mikael had already said that what was gonna happen already.
Oh yeah, I'm riding with you, brother. I'm riding with you 100.
Most definitely. We gonna pull them because I'm not gonna play no games with these brothers, man. This brother got on me. He act like I'm just supposed to. He act like I'm just supposed to allow him to. No, I can't allow you to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? We just got to talking about the lust of the eyes and this and that, and then like Mikael had posed this question. He said that if you found out that you wasn't an Israelite, would you still serve the Creator? And most people said, no, man. You know what I'm saying? So they let you know they dealing with the flesh, man. They said, no, man. I'm like, man, they crazy as ever, man.
Hey, LaRon.
Yeah.
Hey, let me add this real quick. Besides our different interpretations of the scriptures, I can't deny the fact that, you see the brother Soccer War in Philly handing out thousands of pounds of canned goods, non-perishable items. They do that every month. Just seen some footage. Tazariak was at Clinton Correctional Facility building with some of the brothers behind the walls. So, although we do see the scriptures a little bit different, we can't deny some of the things that they are doing in their community. And, I hope that young man knows it was nothing personal. But go ahead, G-Con.
Yeah, most definitely, man. They do their work. But, as we see, your boy, what's his name? Your boy, Cornelius was full of good deeds and alms, but he still needed the Christ to come to him and the fruits of the Spirit to come to him. So these brothers anybody. You got Oprah Winfrey to hand out money and what's because she don't believe in God. So that's cool. That's a start. But for the most part, man, like I say, man, it's got to go. It's got to go down, man. It's got to go down, man. This brother came in here, man, and then, then he gonna say, that's because you African. Man, you all right, wham, bam.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that took me out about it.
Because you African.
Hey, but see, that's the thing about it. When they say Africans, brother, they forget the scriptures that the Israelites were spread out through the four corners because it's hard to say who's who. So you never know. He could be he look like an African coming up to you, but he could be more connected to that bloodline than you might be. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like to me, so it's like that's an argument. It's hard to get under and it's hard to get round. But you know what I'm saying. But that's why I asked the brother, why would you say you got it from ISUPK? Why didn't you just say because our spirit bear witness that we are Israelites and children of the Most High? To me, that was a more spiritual answer to give than give it to man. I mean, I understand what he was saying. He got his knowledge, but the scriptures, y'all supposed to be the scriptures. You supposed to go straight to that scripture. That way, the people, because a lot of people they ain't getting no knowledge from ISUPK. They reading the scriptures trying to get the understanding. So to me, I think we should try to like we be doing, Ron. We gotta use the scriptures to filter the information and use the scriptures to give our answers.
Yeah, man, but it's as we can see, man, we finna close out. It's 11:57. We got one more minute. Appreciate the calls for calling in, man. Y'all know what it is. Good class tonight. I appreciate you, brothers. Madame Komet, thank you, brother, for coming through again, and also Mikael Ben Israel, and also Basim, man. So with that being said, man, I just want to say peace to the family out there. Look for us next week, Monday through Thursday, again, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, G Consciousness Radio.